All right, I'm really excited for this section. A lot of people want to know specifically doubles return strategies for breaking serves. So that's what this is all about. This section, we're going to go through 4 main styles of play that we're going to teach you how to break serve consistently on. Number 1 is breaking serve against the aggressive poaching team. Number 2 is we're going to teach you how to break serve against big serving teams. Number 3 is we're going to teach you how to break serve against serve and volley teams. And number 4, we're going to teach you how to break those steady Eddie serving teams, so where they're very consistent from the baseline. We're also going to teach you the best targets for returning doubles. What are the sweet spot returns that's going to yield a high rate of success? And number 2 is we're going to get into some scoreboard returning. So if you're ready, what we're going to start with in this video is we're going to get right into how to beat an aggressive poaching team. Okay, guys, so here we have the court set up for playing an aggressive poaching team. Let me point out some things here. Number 1 is a good poaching team is going to want to dominate this area. This middle right here is where they really want to control it. That's what they're looking to do. If they can do that, you're going to have a tough time beating them. So you're trying to, give them as few balls through here as possible. That's the number 1 thing you're trying to do. How are you going to be able to identify a poaching team? Well, early on, you're going to see that they're going to be going across. They're going to be taking some chances. The person at the net is going to look confident. They're going to be moving around. They're going to be a little bit more aggressively stationed. They're going to be here or even closer to the middle, really looking to get to the middle. Timid teams, they'll play further back and they'll play more towards the alley. So that's way to identify that, as well as in the warm-up, really seeing, their volleying style and just their overall attitude. You can kind of tell aggressive volleyers compared to people who like to stay back more. So these are the things you're looking at. Now, if you've determined through collecting some of that data that you are in fact playing a pretty aggressive poaching team, then some things you want to do early on, and I usually advise against hitting a lot of returns down the alley, because this is kind of one of the things they're wanting you to do too. They want you to go down the alley, so they figure that you will be making more mistakes than winners. So it's kind of a percentage thing. But I do think early in the match, early and often, you want to go down the line. And here's why. I remember distinctly watching a very high level. It was in San Jose, and it was a professional tournament where the 2 doubles teams were playing, and they were both just scorching balls down the line, and the people just kept playing close and close to the middle. They just kept challenging them to go down the line until one team kind of won that, and that battle of hitting down the line, and the other team started to stay a little more honest. So then the other team was able to dominate. The team that finally won this kind of down the line battle. It was kind of interesting. It went on for like 4 games where almost every return went down the line, and then finally, one of the teams was not making the shots as much, so they started to play a little more conservative, and the other team basically took over the middle and won the match. So if you can kind of, but now we're not playing though professional teams. Remember that. So if you can hit down the line early and often, show them, hey, I know you like to poach. I'm going to be going there, so you better watch your line and kind of keep them more honest. That's something you can do. Now, the best time, I think, also to go down the lines, or when the ball is coming right in here, now you can pull your shot. It's easier to pull the shot over there, especially if you're moving into the court and taking it early, to pull that shot that way than it is actually, even though it looks so tempting, then to go down the line this way. You're going to end up making more errors. If you get forced out here wide too, this is another great time to go down the line, because you can kind of still curl it and hit across, almost like a cross court type feeling shot into the alley. Those would be the 2 times I'd really think about pulling the trigger, is when I got a ball here and I saw the ball early. Great time to pull a winner towards the alley. And also as you got off the court here, and again, as long as you're there early and able to take a good strike on it, then you can kind of bring that ball back into the court. Another thing that you want to do against people who love to come to the net and love to poach is to also lob a lot. Lots of lobs. Just take this person, just frustrate them. It's kind of like playing a player who wants to hit a lot of forehands. Well, you make them hit all backhands. Someone who wants to get this middle, you're basically not giving them anything down the middle. You're hitting lots of shots here. You're hitting lots of high lobby returns. And then you want to be making sure that you can take the ball early. You want to be playing inside of the blue here. It's going to be a big court positioning battle. The earlier you can take a ball, the more comfortable you feel taking a ball, it's going to be harder for this net person to react. Think about that. It's going to be harder for them to get to the middle fast because they're going to have to react to your shot. So the more you're able to comfortably play in the blue of the court here, that's going to be a good thing. What you want to be careful of, returns you want to be careful of, is slicing the ball. I remember Rick Leach, a great doubles player, he gave a speech at the Tennis Fantasy Camp, and he said that as soon as he saw his opponents would slice the returns, especially if they stayed back towards the baseline or behind the baseline, that he is going to have a field day. He's going to poach almost every time. And think about that, because when you slice, you're taking some pace off the ball. It can tend to float, especially the further you play back and chip. That ball is going to be floating by the time it gets to the net, and it's going to be in the air a long time. Easy one to pick off. So if you do chip the ball and you're like, well, I just don't have a flat shot, I don't have a topspin shot, I have to chip the ball, then you want to get really comfortable about playing inside of the baseline, because then at least, they're having less time to react to your chip. Super important. Another thing too, especially if you have a topspin return, I think a great return would be a high roller deep, so it kind of gets out of this middle and it's high, especially if you can look and see the net person, especially when it's on their backhand side. So even if they're moving across, if they have to steal a ball somewhere in here and it's very high, it's going to be hard for them to do anything with the ball. They're going to have very little control over it, and it takes away their offense. Now, obviously, if they're moving across and you put that up too high to their forehand side and they can reach it, it's not over their racket, that's going to be something you want to avoid. Another thing you want to be able to do, if you can, is short little angle returns. So again, the more you're playing close inside the baseline, if you can hit a short little angle chip or a roller topspin ball. See, this is all avoiding this middle area. That's what we're doing. That's our main thing. So, hard returns up the middle, that is going to be exactly what they want. That's going to be exactly what they want. And finally, like I was trying to say through the whole video, is court positioning is key. So the more you give up court and play back here, the longer that ball is going to be in the air for them. So you better hit the ball pretty high or with severe spin, or you just better be like darn Rafa Nadal with your returns and know you can still get it by them. Otherwise, this gets them lots of time to plot and plan and then move, and the ball is there in the air for them. What's kryptonite to the poacher is as soon as they're trying to move, the ball's already by them. Whether it gets by them with an angle, whether it gets by them with pace through the middle, that's obviously harder to do, or whether you're hitting down the alley, that's what keeps a poacher honest. So those are all my strategies on how to play a poaching team. And we'll be back. The next video, what we're going to do is how to play against big serving teams, people who can hit some big bomb serves in, and we're going to teach you how to break their serve next.